For this piece today, I decided I was going to attempt a aquatic animal again, but a scary female one. Kind of like a little bit of a mermaid, but a little bit more frightening. And I got the inspiration for this one from the illustration I did in the star signs to monsters video, where I did my own star sign Aquarius as this hideous, horrible water mermaid type sea creature. So I sort of took some inspiration from that and sort of reworked it and done this Ocean Maiden. And I don't draw a huge amount of females, so I wanted to sort of draw a female water maiden and sort of make her frightening and quite pretty at the same time. I don't know, I think I achieved that. I think I did. But I really wanted to focus on the hair with this piece. I am not very good with hair, as you have heard me say a million times in all my videos. I need to work on hair, so I decided to have this whole piece sort of centered around the hair of this Ocean Maiden. And I cannot believe, even with tracing, I liked my original sketch better. I honestly did, which is on the right. I don't know, I think what I might do in future is just not do that. I'm using Connie's paints again, so what I'm actually doing is incorporating her fairy dust into this piece as well. And I did a bit of a swatch because I hadn't opened this one yet, and I really wanted to see what it looked like. And it is so beautifully glittery, and it's really fine glitter, which I really like. I really like that real fine shimmery paint. So what I'm going to start doing with this particular watercolor palette of Connie's is I'm going to start an aquatic themed series. So I'm going to do some sort of aquatic animal with these paints, because this particular palette gives me ocean vibes, and it's probably not meant to, but it does. And that's when I decided to go down this direction of doing sort of like an aquatic series and aquatic monsters. So this is going to be the first one in the series. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it's something different, and it's another series that I'm starting up. I'm sort of trying to get a few series going, so when one runs out there's still another one, and then it gives me time to think of another one to do, because I sort of really like doing these sort of series that include more than, you know, one thing for a series. Like, you know, I don't want to create one particular thing. I'd really like to create more than one thing, because I get a lot of ideas for particular series, and I'm like, well, I'm getting more ideas, so sometimes I post single pictures that turn into series, because I've looked at that picture and thought, well, I can turn that into a series. I can run with it and create other variations of that. So that's what I'm doing with this. And I just love using Connie's paints. I've got to use some more of her paints in other videos, so, you know, stay tuned for them coming up. And if you are interested in buying Connie's paints, I will always have the link below in these videos where you can go straight to her Etsy store and purchase her paints, and you will not be disappointed. So I love mixing these paints. Absolutely love mixing Connie's paints up to get different varieties of colors, and it's amazing how many colors you can get from just 3 colors in a palette. It's mind-blowing. So that's what I did. I mixed up so many different variations and just really enjoyed that process of doing that and layering them. and sort of working out where the colors were going to go, and sort of really trying to keep that bluey green theme going with a hint of purple, and then having her eyes a yellow for that pop of yellow. And this creature she's swimming. She's actually in the dark, murky waters in the deepest part of the ocean, and it is so dark, and the look on her face is of just a little bit of sort of terror, I suppose, and sort of like a little bit of like what's lurking behind me. So she's been swimming along and she's got this feeling that something is behind her. So she turns around and she sees this thing, and I will let your imaginations run away with you to what she is seeing and what she is, startled by and has realized is behind her. So also with this piece, I am trying to work on depth perception again and angles, and that's why you see her left hand is really close, because I wanted to do a really close sort of hand, and then have her other arm is in the distance, and I was trying to sort of get that proportion right to have that arm in the background compared to the size of the one that's closest to you. And I don't know, I think the arms look a little bit off. I think I made her forearm a bit too short on the furthest arm, and yeah, once again I'll work on that, but that's why I'm sort of pushing myself, because I've never really sort of done too much of this sort of close-up body parts, and then you've got the ones in the background, and then trying to work out how big that body part is going to be when it's up close. So yeah, that's basically what I was trying to achieve here. And when this illustration is finished, I don't mind it. I do think it is quite pretty, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think she's quite lovely and she's quite pretty. And in the last part of this illustration, I then put CONNIE'S fairy dust over her hair, and I put it into the webbings of her hands as well, just to sort of make them sparkle a little bit. So yeah, make them sort of like an accent in the piece. For the background, I knew right from the beginning that I wanted to do a complete black background, because like I said to you in the story of this Ocean Maiden, she's in the depths of the ocean, deep down, and I wanted the background to be completely black, just completely black, mysterious, and it then allows her, with her colouring, with all the blues and the greens and the purples, to sort of pop a bit off the page and really make her the focal point, which is what I really wanted. But I must admit, I nearly didn't do it because I didn't mind the way she looked on that white background. So I nearly did not colour in the back of it with this black acrylic paint. So I used acrylic paint for this because I knew that I was not going to use watercolour, black watercolour, because it would just look so streaky, and I wanted something a little bit quicker than colouring in the background with a black Sharpie or something like that. I just thought that that would be a little bit of a waste for a marker because there was a lot of background to colour in. So I found my black acrylic and went nuts on the background with that, and it worked. It was great. It was a good choice, and it really made the bubbles pop too. I really wanted them to pop. So on that black background, it was, yeah, it worked really, really, really well. So yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with this piece, and I didn't mind it at all. And yeah, just loved using Connie's paints for this, and definitely going to continue this series, this aquatic series with these paints. So that is basically it from me. I am out of here. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.